take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
Back in your life this Saturday, October 24th, 2020. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 43, UFC 254 recap. And then after that, we jump into some MMA news. And then we talk about the long overdue fight between Anderson Silva and Uriah Hall. Tabor, where do we begin?
With the social media accounts, Mason, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't already following us, make sure you go and do it. We're posting funny memes. We're trying to make you guys laugh. Hit us up. And Mason, what are we at? 157 subscribers on our YouTube?
157, yeah.
Something like that. It's fucking awesome.
Brought it up every time.
Every time. And we have to keep doing it.
We have to.
We have to. So make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're posting clips of the show every single day. Hit us up. Mason, UFC 254 just happened. Just a few hours ago. It happened early card, prime time in Abu Dhabi, 11 a.m. here on the West Coast time. What are your thoughts? I guess we have to start with this main event, right?
Obviously, first and foremost, historic. That's the first word, honestly, that comes to my mind. Habib is unquestionably the greatest of all time. And we got confirmation from the one person that we needed to get it from, and that was John Jones. And you know what? Got to give John Jones credit. I completely agree with him.
Are you being serious? Or are you
dead
trying
serious.
to be okay?
I completely agree with him. He came out on Twitter and said that he is willing to give up that pound-for-pound ranking until he becomes the heavyweight champion of the world. And I think that's a fair assessment.
How nice of John Jones to give up that position, you know? What a nice guy that guy is.
It is his to give up. That's like Michael Jordan to give it up to LeBron James. You know?
I guess so, but I mean...
they're different eras, you know, with basketball, but it's the same thing with fighting. There's different eras. And you know what? Now, you know, it's real hard not to jump into it right now. The breakdown. But
Let's start with the fight. Did you see that first round going the way that it did? I mean, they were trading, dude.
Yeah.
Habib was pressuring him constantly in his face. The first takedown attempt got stuffed, and ever since then, he got hit with a few leg kicks, and it just seemed like instantly after the leg kicks landed, he knew, okay, I need to pressure now, and I need to fucking do something because I can't eat a whole lot of those.
Yeah.
I think that was the plan. But the way he was getting in his face, landing those uppercuts, landing the rights, landing the hooks, I was shocked by Habib Nurmagomedov striking. Especially in the first.
I'm really not. I mean, look at the way he struck with Conor. Look at the way he struck with Dustin while he did. Habib is a mixed martial artist. He is an overall a well-rounded fighter in every aspect of the game.
Absolutely.
Like, that is why he is the GOAT. Like, he is just in a lightweight division that is so incredibly stacked, and he obliterated through them all. Undefeated, 29-0. You know, what a story, too. What a story of like this man is a man who has morals, who has faith, and he sticks to it no matter what.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's wavering in Habib Nurmagomedov. Nothing whatsoever. He is a true warrior, a true champion, and I think overall he's one human being that has a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, and he just knows he does.
I think tonight we saw the best Habib Nurmagomedov.
Absolutely.
I mean, just the way he was. The first time we watched it during this fight companion, we just did that coming soon, guys. I really thought Habib lost that first round. I thought Justin Gaichi won the first. I mean, the way he was landing big hooks and stuff. And in the moment I did, after we rewatched it, we just watched it a few minutes ago. Absolutely, Habib won that first round. Absolutely, he outstruck the most dangerous, most violent man we've seen in the UFC's lightweight division in a very long time.
And it wasn't that Justin wasn't throwing him back either.
Yes.
Like, it was a great first round.
It was a great first round.
But I mean, the end of the day, also Habib had Justin Gaichi in a very compromised position.
Yes.
You know, he almost had that armbar. I mean, give that guy another 15, 20 seconds. You're trying to tell me he could have pulled. Yeah, he could have. Yeah. So, you know, again, I just think Habib won that round.
Yeah, absolutely won the round. Let's go into the second. It was a little bit back and forth. Habib gets the takedown, and then weird scramble transition on the bottom. Habib gets bottom, and then Justin Gaichi is seemingly, I mean, it was set up beautifully by Habib, but seemingly fell into that triangle. I don't know how else to say. I'm no disrespect to Justin. I'm not saying he gave up that triangle, but he seemed to fell into it, almost like you could say Chael did during that Anderson Silva fight. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
I think the same thing happened in the squeeze. the squeeze by Habib to put Justin Gaethje to fucking sleep.
Yeah, and put him to sleep too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind.
Great performance.
Beautiful performance. And now we have to get into the number one storyline anybody's ever going to be talking about now is after the fight, Habib did put the gloves down.
He did.
And he
retired. You saw it coming when he started taking off the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were watching kind of live, but we were talking more during the fight companion. But
so it didn't hit us during the fight companion.
Yeah, when I rewatched it, I noticed right away he was taking his gloves off, and it's like, that's it. You know, when a fighter does that, 9 times out of 10, they're done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Habib Nurmagomedov too. It's like the one guy who says when he says something, he never goes back on it. That's one thing with his career. There's no gray area here. It's black and white. He is the champion. He beat all these guys. And he summed it up perfectly after his post-fight speech where he said, I choked out Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. I choked out Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't interest
I just beat Justin Gaethje. Mm-hmm. I am the greatest, and I'm 29-0 in the toughest division in the UFC historically.
Mm-hmm. Number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Case closed. It's over. It's over. Mm-hmm. Let's see what John Jones can do as well. But I think for this era of MMA, he is the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
The same way George St. Pierre was, the same way at one point Anderson Silva was in his career.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of even talked about this during the fight companion. You and Gideon DeMars, shout out to him. You were talking about the greatest of all time debate with the LeBron and MJ thing because the finals just ended not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to chime in there for a second and say, like, I fucking hate that debate. And the way, especially when you do that debate with MMA fighters, people love doing that debate with John Jones, Anderson Silva, GSP, Habib Nurmagomedov now. It's like, there needs to be goats of the eras, and not only goats of the eras, I think goats of their divisions. You know, absolutely. I mean, it's too hard to compare like a John Jones to a Habib Nurmagomedov. Why can't we have multiple goats? That's what I think, because I really do think it is. I would consider Habib Nurmagomedov the pound for pound number one fighter in the entire world right now. Mainly because you do have the asterisk of John Jones with the steroid accusations and the title vacancies and all that stuff. I mean, just the way Habib has really modeled himself in his career. Yeah. I think you just have to give it to him. Like, you have to. Mm-hmm. You know, not only for what he's done inside the cage, but outside as well. And that shouldn't really matter. But, I mean, I think you have to. Well,
you have to account the story, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was destined. This was destined for him. Everything aligned. You know, as much as I hate to bring it up, and it sucks for Tony Ferguson, but the cards did not align with Tony. Mm-hmm. After 5 times, you know, and he's a religious man. He believes in God. At some point, do you wonder if he heard, you know, from God that I'm done after this, you know, and on top of his mother as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said it was his mother.
His mom. But I'm sure, you know, at some point you got to look at that and go, wow, 5 times in a row. Maybe that fight's not deserved. And I think it was shown when Tony Ferguson, you know, was defeated. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Absolutely. That was the dagger. Yeah. You know, that was the nail. I mean, because he's really the only guy that you could make an argument for, besides GSP, really, then that would keep Nurmagomedov around. Yeah. You know? It kind of sucks because Habib's one of my favorite fighters, and it's really like, I feel like we're seeing a Barry Sanders situation right here where the man is leaving at the top of his game. And even, I mean, the way we see him fight and evolve in every fight, he's getting better. And he's still getting better to this day. So it really is a Barry Sanders situation. It's an MJ in, 93 or 92, walking away in their prime.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a shame because what this man has already given to us as an MMA community.
But I understand. But we're talking from the fan perspective because we love to watch him compete.
Absolutely.
We love to see greatness. We love to see GOAT stories.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I love to see John Jones' story. Mm-hmm. Like, however it shapes out. Like, I still love seeing it because it's still a part of history. It's still a part of the sport, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, really, I mean, there's not much more to talk about other than, you know, Habib's greatness. I mean, just solidified as the GOAT. I think so. You know, John Jones could, you know, he'll get his argument with heavyweight in a few months. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Justin Gaethje. I mean, he's still in the mix. I mean, before we even talk about the future of this lightweight division, I just want to talk about Justin himself. The way he fought Habib Nurmagomedov is a way I've never seen anybody fight that, man. Everybody is so worried about the takedown. I really felt like he was 100% comfortable in there at all times. He was not scared of getting taken down.
Not at all.
And the way he stuffed those takedowns and kept on moving, kept Khabib guessing, and the way he was doing those level changes, I think no one's fought Habib that way. No one's threatened a takedown against him. And that's something that Tony talked about before they ever made that fight. So credit to Justin Gaethje. I really do think he's still probably the number one contender. I mean, I know we'll talk about this more in MMA news. We got Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor happening here soon. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about all the...
Yeah, but I still think Justin Gaethje, you guys, I mean, he said it himself. He only wants to take 6 weeks off, and then he's going to be right back in there. I think maybe one win, maybe Michael Chandler, maybe Tony Ferguson rematch, something like that. One win, and Justin Gaethje's in a title fight. That easy. All right. So you took Habib Nurmagomedov. That was points for you, Mason. I took Justin Gaethje, so there was nothing there. So let's move on to this co-main event of the evening. Robert Whittaker versus Jared Candenier. Oh, my God. What a performance Robert Whittaker put on this man.
Absolutely.
Just picked him apart for 3 rounds, I felt like. I disagree with the judge that gave Jared Candenier. He must have given him the first.
It was all 3 judges.
Oh, it was all 3?
All 3.
I disagree with that. And I'm not going to shit on the judges. You know, they got the right decision here. Whittaker absolutely won the fight, but I did not see Jared Candenier winning that first or the second. So this definitely couldn't have won the third. I mean, other than the knockdown at the very end of the fight, that's not enough to win a round, man, especially when you get taken down just right before that. So it was a beautiful performance by Robert. Now people are asking for this Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya rematch. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. You know, for the same reasons that we brought up with Robert Whittaker as far as what he has to offer Izzy this time. You know, he says he wasn't in the game. He said he wasn't ready to go. But I don't know now, you know. I think a lot of people count out Robert Whittaker.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Absolutely, I did in this fight. I mean, after that Darren Till fight, I felt like it was such a chess match in that Darren Till fight. I said this on the Fight Companion as well. I just wanted more output from both men. I mean, obviously, I think Whittaker won the fight, and Darren Till did say he got hurt in that fight. But I just wanted more output, and Robert Whittaker gave us this output in this fight. He absolutely pieced apart Jared Cannonier.
Yeah,
absolutely pieced him apart. But is that enough for me to think that he has a chance against Israel? I agree with you, dude. I don't know. I don't know how I like this fight. I mean, this is going to be the fight they make. It's the fight that fans are clamoring for right now, at least on Twitter, some of them, and some of the fighters in the community. But I guess I agree with you, man. I don't know. I think Israel's a superior fighter. I don't see it going any differently the second time. So,
well, but the question is, who else?
That's exactly.
You know, Paul Acosta at 3 just lost to him. You have Jack Hermanson at 4, but he's already scheduled for a fight, isn't he?
Yeah, with Darren Till. So, You know, I guess he's really
You're not going to go Yoel Romero at 5.
No.
There's no way in hell. You'll never see that fight again, and understandably.
No, not Kelvin Gastelum. Chris Weidman keeps on talking real loud about how he's a terrible matchup against Israel. Like, dude, you're not. No, you're not. Easy as that. I don't see anybody on this list.
I appreciate his heart.
I appreciate it too.
I do.
I love the guy. I love the guy a lot, but I'm sorry, bro. It's not happening. I just don't see anybody. You know, maybe Jack Hermanson, if he gets a big win over Darren Till, maybe he's the next guy, but you have to remember he got flat-landed by Jared Cannonier. So I just don't, levels to this game. Maybe Jack Hermanson and Darren Till just aren't on the level of a Robert Whittaker, and Israel is just that much better than everybody.
Does Izzy move up to light heavyweight?
I think he might have to eventually.
Because if John doesn't work out at heavyweight, he could come back down.
Yeah, and that could be a thing. And then Izzy could already be a double champ. Maybe this thing's, it's good. That's a good thinking. I mean, really, and you could say that light heavyweight is probably the least stacked division of the two. So
absolutely.
I think Israel Adesanya
would do just fine at 205.
Absolutely, 100%. Even against these bigger guys who he has. I mean,
so
20
much pounds is a lot of weight. Don't get me wrong, but
well, Israel has rounds and rounds and rounds, countless rounds of heavyweight kickboxing experience. Yeah, exactly. So I really think Israel would do just fine at 205. Alrighty. So I took Cannonier first round, no points.
Yep. I had Robert Whittaker decision.
Alrighty. Let's do this next fight. Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris. Oh,
I never get to do that.
Well, there you go. Now, right? There's a first time for everything. I got to take my
opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, next fight. Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris. This is just... I feel like it doesn't matter who Walt Harris is fighting. You throw him in against Stipe Miocic right now, I think I'm going to take him. Just because of the storyline and everything that comes in behind, I just want to see this man get a fucking big win. And it just really made me sad that that's not what happened tonight. Alexander Volkov looked very good.
Yeah, he did.
He looked
sharp.
Very good. Very sharp, very dangerous. The man's got a chin from fucking the gods. I mean, yes, Derek Lewis KO'd him, but still, he's got a great fucking chin. Big Walt tried. Big Walt tried his best. He landed some of that Alabama power, but it just wasn't enough, man. Nope. I really feel like this Volkov guy is just, he's so much better than some of these heavyweights, mainly because he has the cardio to go 3 to 5 fucking rounds.
When he has the length, too. I mean, the guy's 6'7". It's insane.
Insane. Dolph fucking Lundgren reincarnated. The guy's a savage. The guy's just an absolute savage. And, he's got a very bright future in this heavyweight division. I just don't know.
So who do you match him up, though, with next?
I mean, who has he already fought in? He's already fought in Derek Lewis. Maybe an Overeem? I haven't think that they've fought. Why not? Overeem just came off that big win versus Augusto Sakai. He's going to need to keep racking up these wins for a title shot.
I mean, how many more until he gets a title shot?
Overeem?
Yeah.
I think he at least has to rematch like Jairzinho or beat like a Curtis Blades or something to get a title shot. I just don't see anybody getting a title shot till we see this Francis Ngannou-Stipe Miocic fight happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And who the fuck knows when that happens? Probably not till mid to late 2021. Easily. So heavyweight is like lightweight 2 years ago, log jammed, unfortunately. So let's move on. I took Harris second round KO. I'm feeling that one. All right.
I had Harris decision.
Yeah. Philip Haas versus Jacob Malcoon. This fight did not last very long. 18 seconds?
It didn't.
18 seconds? Well, I have no idea who Philip Haas is. This was my first exposure to him.
Same.
But Jesus Christ, I'm going to remember his name now. Dude,
absolutely.
The power is unreal. Very Jared Cannonier-like. Murked this dude in 18 seconds. The dude was 4-0. So crazy.
It is.
So you're going to get into the UFC at 4-0. That's just... I get it. If you're a savage, you're 4-0, you're a savage, and you deserve the shot. But it's like, remember when back in the day you used to go 10-0 just to get the call from the UFC?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, look at Shane Carwin. He didn't get the call for a while.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, it takes a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. People are getting thrusted in a little too quickly nowadays, and I think this was a proof of that. So we didn't even pick this fight because we don't even know who the hell these guys are. But now we do. Philip Haas, remember the fucking name. Crazy KO power. Next fight. Lauren Murphy, Liliana Sharikova. I'm going to be honest with you, Mason. I did not pay attention to this fight for jack shit during the fight companion. We were just laughing and
having a good time.
Having a great time. And I'm sorry, guys. This fight was not very exciting. We did see the finish. It was a great rear naked choke. And the second that happened, you knew it was over.
Yeah,
under the chin instantly.
Yeah.
Very deep. And Lauren Murphy's, she's on I think like a 4-fight or a 5-fight winning streak right now. She's asking for that title shot. She wants to move up in these rankings at 125. And, Valentina is going to be cranking out these title defenses. So why not? Let's throw Lauren Murphy in there maybe after one more big win.
Yeah.
I took Murphy. Unanimous decision. That was a point.
Yeah, I had a 3rd round sub, so that's 2.
Okay, if you haven't noticed, I just like these last 2 fights. I'm like, let's just move along. Let's move along. Let's get to this one. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Magomed Ankalaev versus Ion Cutelaba. Mason, this was the fight we wanted. This was the fight we deserved the first time, and it's finally the fight we got.
I predict these things.
Yeah, 6 points. 6 points on the year for Magomed.
Well, okay, on the year. I was going to say, sir, you are not doubling your fucking points here.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah.
It's already bad enough.
6 points on the year, man. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Again, it happened the same way. It happened in the first one. And not only that, but wow. Remember the name.
Remember the name.
Seriously.
Magomed, he's got those numbers by his name for a fucking reason. He is a serious threat at 205 pounds. Oh, my God. The giant Habib, the giant Dagestani savage. The dude. So not only can he strike as well as a Zabik, as well as maybe like he's very Brian Ortega-like. Brian Ortega's last week, very calculated, very timid, and choosing his shots and then landing the perfect crisp combinations. Yeah. He looked fantastic, dude.
His technique's great. I think he's a little unorthodox. Like I really think he at least from my observation is he comes in at a weird angle. Like
absolutely,
it's like a weird timing where he's like 1/4 of a second off.
Mm-hmm. And he kept on landing those straight lefts by Ion. Every time Ion would move in and try to land something of his own, he was getting popped by the way faster.
When he threw those powerful ones, I thought he was going to throw the jab first. Like that's how much force he would put into those, but it was so fast. He looked phenomenal. Like, I'm really excited to see where he goes after this.
Yeah, he deserves a big fight. I mean, how long did we wait for this fight to happen? Forever, it seems like. I mean, he is ranked now at number 11.
Yep.
So who does he fight next? I think he deserves a top 10
before this.
Yeah.
So he definitely deserves a top 10.
He'll probably move up a few. So maybe like an Anthony Smith, who is already he's already matched up with someone else. I don't know who, but Jiri Prochazka is probably going to fight someone like a Dominic Reyes or Alexander Rakic. Maybe the Volkanovski fight would be good for him, or a Nikita Krylov, someone like that, Johnny Walker, anybody. Magomed Ankalaev is a big name. He's he's a very dangerous threat. Very dangerous threat. So everyone needs to asterisk this guy for sure. For sure. So, yeah, 6 points on the year. I think it's MMA news time, Mason. All right, we teased it earlier. We got to talk about it. Habib Nurmagomedov is now retired, so there will be a vacant title fight. And, it was not announced, but talked about how Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor is happening January 21st or 23rd, whatever that date is. Do they make that for the vacant title?
Of course they do. It's the one business move to make. I mean, you could potentially now have your biggest pay-per-view fighter, your biggest superstar, fight for the belt, and there's complete legitimacy behind it. Because the greatest of all time, Habib, who, as Habib literally just said, post-fight, choked both of those guys out, including Justin Gaethje. It's over. He's the greatest. Now we have to move on. I hate to say that so soon because, the legacy will always be there for Habib. He's undefeated. He's the greatest of all time in the lightweight division. Mm-hmm. But moving forward now, there's complete legitimacy. And it sucks for a guy like Tony Ferguson, as we always talk about, but this is now the most legitimate championship fight, and it makes perfect sense, and I think that's why they pushed it out to January.
I think it's the only fight they can make. I mean, who else are they going to have fight for the belt? I guess you could make an argument for Justin Gaethje because he did beat Tony and he was the interim champ, but it's like, who's he going to fight? I guess you have to do the McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier has beaten a top 5 opponent. McGregor has beaten Cowboy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I
mean, yeah.
I don't know if I like that argument there.
Well, here's the thing. With Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier, you could do that rematch, and I'd be completely fine with that. It's the question of what's going to sell and what do the MMA purists want? What do you want? As far as one fighting two, you got to go with Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier because he was the interim champ.
Yes, and I think
he lost to the champ.
That's a way more exciting fight in my opinion as well.
Well, and I totally agree with you, but that's not the fight that's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think
that's the thing. That's what So it's like we got to balance out which one is it? Which one are we picking?
What's the moneymaker? Right. What makes the most money right fucking now? What can we maybe get fans to?
Well, and then, it's a huge, it's a huge opportunity for Conor McGregor because he wins that belt and then he goes fights Pacquiao. What if he beats Pacquiao? Now he's got all this hype coming back.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically that's just what's going to be made because realistically it probably is. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier for the vacant lightweight title, January 23rd. So let's say hypothetically Conor McGregor KOs Dustin in the second or first round. And then they announced the Manny Pacquiao fight. How long in between before, does this just log jam the division all over again?
Very well could. That's kind of the issue, man. Is it very well could?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does. Honestly, I don't
Unless
see
Conor fights.
I just don't see him fighting. That's the problem. I get it. He's the big money maker. He's going to make the most money for the UFC and himself right now if he fights. Yeah. But he already is one of these fighters who fights once a year.
But I wonder if Dana White will have that conversation. Hey, Conor, you can't go to boxing. If you're the champ, you got to fight. The money's here. And then once you lose here, then you can go do boxing. But I mean, unless Dana's going to make a boatload of money and he sees the numbers with Pacquiao. I mean, because at the end of the day, Dana White's a businessman. That's what Dana is. He's a businessman. And if he sees a tremendous financial opportunity, he's going to take that. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's business, and he's got people to please.
Business, yeah. I think the biggest business they could do is Conor KOs Dustin, becomes the lightweight champion of the world again in the UFC, and then they make the Manny Pacquiao fight. And then Conor rides off. Yeah, and then he just has to ride off in the sunset. Yep. Like, he has to retire after that. He's not going to want to keep on going into MMA and taking massive amounts of damage in these fights against Justin Gaethje, against the Dustin Poirier again, against the fucking Max Holloway when he moves up, against the name your guy in the lightweight division. He doesn't want these fucking fights. He's not going to fight a Charles Oliveira. He's not going to fight a Tony Ferguson. He's going to take this one fight, take the belt, and then fucking logjam the whole division again. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little salty already over this, and it hasn't even happened.
Yeah. I think he might be jumping the gun a little bit, though. I mean, he does have to get through Dustin Poirier first, and that's no easy.
Yeah,
that's
it's no
easy fight,
task.
man.
Yeah,
don't count out Dustin.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a whole different fight. I mean, these guys fought, 5-6 years ago,
and it's a way more competitive fight. I mean, the Dustin Poirier today, I really believe KO's the Dustin that got KO'd by Conor. I really believe the Dustin Poirier today KO's that Conor that KO'd him. So it's a very interesting matchup, and I'm glad that it is the one that's happening. But let's be real. If there's anybody that deserves a vacant title shot right now, it's a fucking Tony Ferguson, my guy. Even though he is coming off the Justin Gaethje loss, but it was Justin Gaethje, and it was for a title.
Mm-hmm. I'd be fine with that. I mean, look, Tony Ferguson had won 12 fights before this point, 8 years without a loss. He lost one fight, and it was to the interim champ. Give him that rematch. I'm fine with that. I'd love to see that.
100%.
I think Tony
the winner of that fight fights the winner of Conor Dustin.
Yeah,
for the title.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's what Dana does, though. I mean, duh. I mean, the business is right in front of you.
Yeah.
Give your superstar the belt. He's not going to wait 2 fights.
Yeah.
That, again, not good business because you're risking too much. Now Conor's got to fight one guy and beat him, who's a top 5, and then he's got to beat another guy just to be the champ. Mm-hmm. It's not a good business
it
move.
doesn't happen.
Nope.
It doesn't happen. I mean, there is one guy that we have to talk about before we move on from this lightweight division that is in the mix. I mean, he was in Fight Island today, made weight yesterday. Michael Chandler. I mean, Dana has expressed interest in this Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson fight. Is that the fight they make? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Who
I got to be honest.
Does Michael Chandler match up against?
I'd like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing. Again, I sound like a broken record. Every time I bring up Tony Ferguson, I have to reiterate the fact that he has been screwed over in this situation.
Yeah, too many times.
But, we're just going to talk about the fight. As far as the fight, I love the fight.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's a fight to make. If you're talking about business-wise, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then, number one, you just got this Bellator guy. You probably got him on the cheap, considering how big of a star he was in Bellator and how dominant he was. Comes to the UFC, you got one fight. You beat a guy like Tony Ferguson, you're getting the next shot. Mm-hmm. You could potentially have another superstar.
Mm-hmm. And I know we've talked about this already, but is Tony Ferguson too much for... I mean, obviously he's not. Michael Chandler's going to take that fight, and he thinks he's going to win it. But, I mean, are we thrusting Michael Chandler in a little bit too soon to the top competition? I mean, should he work his way up?
Yeah, I'm not saying, Tony Ferguson's going to lose. I'm not saying Chandler's going to lose. But what I am saying is I think Michael Chandler, as far as skill set, absolutely. I think he can... Do I think he can
hang?
He can absolutely
for sure.
hang with a top 5.
It's just, is it deserving? Should he be thrusted right into this number 1 contender fight right off the bat?
Look what he's done over in Bellator. I mean, he's been dominant. So, yeah, you got to give Michael Chandler. I mean, yeah, he's a former champ. He literally vacated his belt to go to the UFC. He was a champion.
No, he wasn't champion in lightweight in Bellator. Patricio Pitbull KO'd him.
Yes, in lightweight, but he had the welterweight belt, too.
No, he didn't.
Or the flyweight belt.
No, he was one champ. He was lightweight. He lost the Patricio Pitbull, and then in his comeback fight against Benson Henderson, he got the first round KO, and then he signed with the UFC.
Oh, okay. So he had lost the belt and then fought,
and then got a win with Henderson, and then signed with the UFC a month or two later.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's why Patricio Pitbull was so vocal a few weeks ago. Like, oh, I knocked this motherfucker out. No one gives me credit. Well,
yeah,
now you guys are giving him like a title shot.
Yeah,
off
that's
the bat.
true. I guess maybe
so
it
just makes you think. It just makes you think. It's just a little weird. I mean, I'm not going to say Michael Chandler doesn't deserve to get thrusted into the top 5. He absolutely does, because I really do think he's a top 5 lightweight. I'm just a little interested. I do think there are guys outside of the top 5, maybe even, there are some sleepers inside the top 10 that gives very, very competitive fights to anybody in this top 5, especially Michael Chandler. So it just sucks to see guys like that overlooked, like a Charles Oliveira, like a Beneil Dariush, people like that,
Right.
Alrighty. I think it's time to move on to this welterweight division, Mason. I mean, before we talk about any matchups that just got announced, because it's the biggest news in the MMA community. Yeah. This guy has been viral with every fucking time you say his name. So I won't even say it for right now, because there's someone else I need to focus on. Leon Edwards was removed from the UFC welterweight rankings just a few days ago.
At one point, yes. He has been reinstated.
Yes. Well, that was after this fight we're going to talk about here in a second was announced, but I got to talk about Leon Edwards first. The fact that politics aside, you know, because there's always politics that play behind the scenes with this kind of shit, the fact they had to remove you from the fucking rankings, bro, it's not good. It's not good. You should have taken the Wonder Boy fight, my guy. You should have taken the Wonder Boy fight.
Now, has he made a public statement as to why he didn't take that fight?
So he pretty much said that anybody in the top 5 he said the only reason I never got matched up was because everyone turned me down. And that's the reason why I got removed from the rankings. Like, bullshit, bro. I'm sorry. That statement's complete bullshit. They're not going to remove you from the rankings because someone else is turning you down, bro. That's not going to happen. They're going to remove you from the rankings like they did Tatiana Suarez for not fighting in almost 2 years and for turning down a title shot on short notice, for turning down a Gilbert Burns fights, for turning down the Wonder Boy fight, for turning down a Khamzat Chimaev fight. So Khamzat Chimaev was offered to him multiple times and he turned it down multiple times and then the rankings happened.
Okay, I get that. And I understand that. But the one thing I got a problem with is Leon Edwards is 3rd in the world. Yes, Chimaev, dominant, scary good. But do you think that's too high of a ranking? Or given the circumstance, the fact that Leon Edwards has not, signed with a fight, are you okay with this matchup?
So, yeah, well, we haven't even said that's the matchup that they made. Like it's set. December 19th, Khamzat Chimaev, Leon Edwards. That's why they brought Leon Edwards back into the rankings. Can you say that's an undeserved fight? Yes. Khamzat Chimaev, they're thrusting him in way too soon. He does not deserve a top 3 opponent in the world at welterweight. Who has he fought at welterweight? One guy. And he made his UFC debut. That's it. In the entire division. And now he's getting Leon Edwards. Doesn't deserve it 100%. But at the same time, you have to recognize this guy is a fucking lightning in a bottle. And the UFC caught it. The UFC caught lightning in a bottle. And it can easily explode in their fucking hands, or they could direct it and kill the evil wizard that's trying to rape your daughter. It's a terrible analogy. I'm sorry. But that's it. They have lightning in a bottle, dude, and they know they can't fuck this up. So I think it's a great matchup. I just wish Leon Edwards would have been smart enough to take that top 5 opponent because this is not the matchup you need to get a title shot. It is when you need the hype. And Leon Edwards is already deserving 8-fight winning streak. But at the same time, you got to fucking fight, bro. You got to fucking fight. And I'm so glad he finally accepted. It only took removing him from the UFC rankings to do it, which is the unfortunate thing. I love this fight. Absolutely love this fight.
Do you think it's too soon, though, given the stats of this fight? Like, over the last course of, I guess, the trajectory of Chimaev's career. I mean, in what, 66 days was it? He competed 3 times and outstruck his opponents 160-something to 2. That's wild. That's you never see that. Not for 3 straight fights.
Yeah, and every time you mention a stat like that, it makes you think, well, maybe this isn't too soon. Yeah. Maybe this is well deserved.
I just go back and forth on it, but I get what you're saying, absolutely, and I'm on the fence about it too. As far as Leon Edwards, like that's number 3 in the world. Like, is he ready? But I'm gonna tune in.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Freaking see, man.
We're gonna fucking find out. Oh, and by the way, this is 5 rounds. This is a main event.
Exactly, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Yes.
But again, we'll see Chimaev's cardio too, because I think Leon Edwards has definitely got enough cardio.
I think he's taken him deep. Yeah. I think he's taken
into
him
the murky
some
waters.
Deep waters. So we will see Khamzat Chimaev's true cardio. I love this matchup. I really do. I really do. Can Khamzat Chimaev flatline Leon Edwards early? Absolutely.
Wow. And what if he does?
He's
right there.
Immediate title shot. Yeah. Immediate title shot right off the bat. Kamaru Usman fight. Fuck off Gilbert Burns. They skip him. Just
no.
Dude, Khamzat, he has that hype though.
He does, but there's no way he's going to take that fight on short notice. So it's like, you can't do that.
Yeah, Gilbert Burns is waiting. They wouldn't fuck him over.
No, and he deserves it. He deserves it. You know, Chimaev, he beat a number 3, but you still got to let your freaking number 2 get it. Get the title shot.
And Chimaev is just such a savage. You know, he's gonna fight anyways 2 weeks later.
Well, what'd be awesome to see is Chimaev versus Colby Covington.
Oh fuck,
I'd freaking kill for that fight, man.
That's the fight.
That fight would be incredible.
Incredible. Because we keep on hearing Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, but we've had nothing
on it.
Nothing. Absolutely no movement at all from either side. So I don't know. Maybe they're just waiting for the fucking election. They're just too
honestly,
busy campaigning.
I'm going to go business here. I think business-wise, I think they do. I think that's why they're waiting.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Just think about it. If it's coming straight off an election, and if Trump pulls off the miracle, he's down in every single poll. But again, he was down in some of the polls last year too, or last 4 years, whatever. But nonetheless, if he were to pull off this comeback, this incredible comeback that we've never seen in American politics as far as with the polling, right? And he were to win, and then they have the president of the United States going to that fight. That'd be that would just
massive.
You could promote it more because both these guys are, hardcore Trump supporters. You had Masvidal literally giving a speech at one of Donald Trump's rallies, leaning on the thing or whatever, and Colby Covington's at every debate. So
crazy.
I think if Trump were to win, I think that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's only 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They could literally announce that,
Yeah. Right after.
if he does win.
Yeah, right afterwards. Yeah. They need main events for fight night, so it could happen. I really like that.
But if not, then it's gone. Your market, your press, all of that.
Oh, I know.
It's gone.
It's all gone. All the hype.
Yeah, and then you just have to go strictly to, you have
Fight
to
hype.
drop all that. You have to drop that, shtick.
Trump thing, yeah.
And then just move on. And just do it because you hate each other, former teammates.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, I love that Hazmat Chimaev-Leon Edwards fight. It's going to be the main event December 19th. But there is another fight that there is in the works for December 19th that is very interesting. Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font is supposedly set for that card. Quick turnaround for Marlon Moraes coming off of the ass beating he just received by Corey Sandhagen.
Wow, the disrespect.
I mean, I guess that's disrespectful. I guess.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry,
not.
bro, but you got your ass kicked like he was fucking you up.
Yeah, no questions. Corey
He was, I'm
Sandhagen looked
sorry.
fantastic.
Yeah, he
I mean,
looked
absolutely.
fantastic.
We talked about it, but
Seems like a little soon.
it does seem soon.
I mean,
it does.
we all thought he broke his orbital bone. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just was
thought
really
he
bad
did.
swelling. But fuck, man, that was pretty nasty swelling around the eye sockets. Just like, this just happened earlier. Anthony Smith got into a really nasty war, got his face kind of rearranged, and then fought only a month later. Didn't turn out well for him. I'm not going to say that Rob Font's going to come out and just whoop on Marlon Moraes because I don't think that's what's going to happen. But I really question why some of these fighters are so quick on the turnaround after taking so much damage. I guess it's just it's the fighter mentality I'm just never going to understand, I guess.
Right, but hear me out. In a division like this, okay, I think when you're going to have a quick turnaround and beat an 11 guy in the division, when look at this division, it's logjam right now. You got Aljamain Sterling, Corey Sandhagen, Cody Garbrandt, Frankie Edgar, and Pedro Munoz. Right, 5 of those 6 probably deserve a title shot real soon. Right, you could argue for any of those top 4 at least. Right, so you go fight a Rob Font, you get a quick turnaround, you get let's say if he goes out there and just dominates in his mind, then he's set up. He set up because he had a quick turnaround, and he was a yes man. He just said, "Yeah, Dana, put me on the next card." He wins that fight. He's got an argument to be the next fight for the number 1 contender again. It's Marlon Moraes.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's still an elite fighter in this division.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just interesting for this 135-pound division. Like you said, it's logjammed. But, there was another fight announced for this division that's pretty interesting, I would say. Chito Vera versus Jose Aldo is in the works for UFC 255.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, my goodness. What a fight. What a matchup that is. Chito Vera coming off that Sugar Sean O'Malley fight, getting the Jose Aldo fight. A little weird because we are coming off the news that Sugar Sean O'Malley is apparently getting matched up with TJ Dillashaw, and you're like, what the fuck?
It's just the craziest fight. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. But I am happy that Chito Vera is getting a huge matchup, especially against a guy who did just fight for the belt in his last fight. So big fight for the career of Chito Vera.
Absolutely.
Big fight. If he gets a win, title shot, maybe. Or at least a number 1 contender
number
fight.
one contender, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the featherweight division, sure.
Yeah.
Number 1 contender fight.
Absolutely. Very interesting fights because Jose Aldo is looking like a completely new fighter at 135, still has the cardio issues.
Yeah. Yeah,
the
bantamweight,
experience.
excuse me. Jose Aldo went down. Bantam, yeah.
Crazy, right? Every time you say his name, you're like, featherweight, okay.
weird, yeah.
All right. Crazy. All right, Mason. I think it's time for this preview show. And it's a preview show that's happening on Halloween night. What are we going to do for this fight? A fight companion with us fucking wearing Halloween costumes? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't have a single Halloween costume. I'll just
neither.
wear a green screen around me, and then we can just edit it, put something on
Put
there.
it on post. That's a good
It'd be
idea,
like
actually.
an ocean or something.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. I'm just going to show up just shirtless and be like, yeah, I'm wearing a diaper. I'm a baby.
That's actually
Just the shittiest Halloween costume
Yeah,
ever.
not a
Just
good
can't
one.
even tell.
Just the hairiest baby of all time. You're like, what? Does this baby have a condition? I'm confused. Like, what is this costume? You know, I'm a little offended by your Halloween costume
It's like,
here, Tabor.
it's
You're a
like,
hairy
You're
baby.
too
How
fat
dare
for a
you.
baby, bro. Get the fuck off the camera. That's exactly what the comment section is going to be like. So go leave one, guys. But what if Uriah Hall and Anderson Silva showed up dressed in costumes, bro?
They're
Would
not
that affect
doing
their
that.
performance?
Well, I don't know. It depends if you want to dress up as like a ninja or something.
It's like
Sure.
Uriah Hall's wrapped up in toilet paper like a mummy. He's just fucking can't even throw shit. That's
No,
a
he's
stupid
like
joke.
full on character. He's like walking out as a mummy. He's like, it's Halloween.
So funny. Anderson Silva just fucking front kicks him in the mouth, just KOs him. Like, Anderson, fight hasn't started yet. We're going off on this tangent. Uriah Hall, Anderson Silva, happening on Halloween night. Obviously, they're not going to be dressed up. We're all joking. But this is an interesting matchup, a matchup that probably should have happened years ago. Mason, are you excited for this main event?
Yeah, I am. You know, this was the fight. As we've brought up before on this podcast, Uriah Hall was on the pathway to becoming the next Anderson Silva. This fight was supposed to happen 5-6 years ago. And, you know, obviously Uriah Hall had one of the greatest knockouts of all time. So in a lot of ways, it was disappointing for Uriah Hall's career. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say that because he's number 10 in the world. Like, he's still got time, you know, to win the belt. I mean, he could literally go and get that belt.
And he's not too old.
And he's not too old. No, he's not. But I guess thus far, it has been a little disappointing from there. And I know he had a lot of pressure on him, a lot of hype. But now, even with Anderson Silva being old, I'm still excited about this fight. This is a fight I've always wanted to see. And we're finally going to get it. And again, Anderson Silva has lost, you know, a few fights in a row, but they're two top
five contenders, really.
Yeah.
You got Jared
Candenier,
Cannonier, Israel Adesanya.
Is he? Yeah.
And who was his fight before that? I think he defeated Derek Brunson, right?
In 2017, he did, but he lost to someone in 2018.
I can't remember.
But nonetheless, yeah.
I think it was DC, wasn't it?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
DC.
Okay, something like that. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Yes, he is fighting the top competition. Yes, he is not in the prime of his career anymore. Maybe he should have. Sorry, a little disrespectful. I'm about to say it, but fuck it. Maybe he should have retired a little bit sooner. Maybe this fight should have happened sooner.
Yeah.
But you know, like you said,
that's yeah.
We're happy it's happening finally, I guess. You know, it's happening. And there's no better guy I really want to choose to send him out on other than Uriah Hall, because I don't want to see him go fight Apollo Costa.
No.
I don't want to see him go fight a fucking Jack Hermanson right now.
Absolutely not. Not at this stage of his career. No way.
And we couldn't have picked a more respectful, better human being to send out Anderson Silva with Uriah Hall. I feel like this is the Lyoto
still
Machida
elite fighter too.
Yes,
in this division.
Exactly.
It's not like he's fighting another
a
legend.
schlum.
Yeah.
Or a fucking schlum like Joe Schmo, a tune-up fight. That's not what this is at all.
No, oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely
Uriah Hall
not.
is very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
And again, for what I said earlier, like he has been on a bit of a win streak. So
Yeah. I feel like this is a Lyoto Machida versus a Vitor Belfort matchup. We're giving this guy a send-off fight. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't think that's what happens, because Lyoto Machida sent. Sorry, I was going to sneeze.
Oh, wow, okay.
I stopped it. Lyoto Machida sent Vitor Belfort to hell with that front kick that ended his career.
God, I love
at
that.
MMA.
That was such a beautiful kick.
It was beautiful, bro. Beautiful. So I don't want to see that happen to Anderson Silva, but it very well could. Let's get into the fight, the matchup. They're both strikers. This fight is primarily going to stay on the feet. I think this is going to be a very technical matchup. I don't think Uriah Hall bombards him like a wild man, because that's never really been his style. You know, he's going to fuck you up, piece you apart, maybe hit you hit you in the rib with a few spinning back kicks, you know, try to fuck you up in the gut. I'm very excited for this fight. It's a very interesting matchup, and I'm going to give Anderson Silva a very good chance of actually winning this fight. People are sleeping on him. I know he hasn't won a fight in a little while, but it's still Anderson Silva.
It is. It is.
He could still KO you.
Yeah. I think at this point in Anderson Silva's career, Uriah Hall, I think, is a very tough competitor. And I think overall, Uriah Hall is just, he's younger. He's I don't know, man. For me, I got Uriah Hall. I'm going to switch my pick. Because, dude,
Yeah,
Anderson, it's hard. Like, I want to go and I want to get that extra point, but it's like...
It's a hard pick to
it's
make,
just I don't see Uriah Hall losing this fight.
Yeah.
I think it can go decision, and I think Anderson Silva can, squeak out a round. Yeah, I do. Like, he's got great striking, but I just don't see a way that Anderson Silva is going to win this fight. So I'm just going to go Uriah Hall decision.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe on the ground. Yeah. You can give Anderson Silva the advantage on the ground, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and all that, but I just see this fight primarily staying on the feet, and I just don't see Uriah Hall losing exchanges, unfortunately. So I have to agree, dude. I'm actually going to take Uriah Hall second round TKO. I don't know how he gets it. I don't think it's going to be a vicious knockout. I don't think it's going to be a highlight of the year. I don't think it's going to be a Joaquin Buckley knockout. Very well could be, because Uriah Hall has that athleticism. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. I think this is going to be a real technical matchup. I think maybe Anderson gets hit with a big uppercut or something and gets dropped in, finished on the ground. I am taking Uriah Hall second round TKO.
All right.
Let's talk about this co-main. Big fight for Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell versus Andre Fili. Bryce Mitchell just got a ranking by his name. He's now number 15 in the world, I believe, in the featherweight rankings. This is a big fight for Bryce Mitchell.
Yes, it is.
Very big fight. It's not against the biggest. It's not the highest level competition he could fight right now. He probably should have a top 15 opponent, but I like the matchup.
Yeah.
And it's a very winnable fight for Bryce Mitchell. I mean, his last fight against Charles Rosa, the way he was, the twister attempts, the transitions on the ground, the pure domination.
Multiple twister attempts, too.
Multiple twister attempts, multiple arm triangle attempts, multiple different types of submissions. He was a very dangerous guy, and he completely dominated a very dangerous Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So I'm very high on Bryce Mitchell right now. Very, very high. I'm just going to give you my pick right now. I'm going Bryce Mitchell second round sub. I think he finds a way to take Andre Fili down and fucking chokes him out in the second round. I don't know how. But I think he's going to find the dominant position. He's just too good on the ground right now. I don't think anybody's going to fuck with Bryce Mitchell for a little while.
All right. I got Bryce Mitchell decision.
Alrighty. Kevin Holland, Mahmoud Muradov. I have no idea who that guy is. Kevin Holland, unanimous decision. I really like Kevin Holland, dude. I really like this guy. I'm really high on Kevin Holland. His striking's beautiful. His ground game, his ground transition is constantly evolving. He talks so much shit. I'm a big fan. Kevin Holland, I'm all in.
All right, for me, I have Kevin Holland, second round TKO. Again, I don't know a whole lot on Muradov, but what I do know is Kevin Holland, I think, will be an elite top fighter, top 15 fighter very, very soon. I'm thinking like 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
So for me, I got Kevin Holland, second round TKO.
Yes, he's very good. He's constantly evolving as well. Yeah. Maurice Greene versus Greg Hardy. Let's talk a little bit about Greg Hardy. He's one of these guys people really were like, he's just going to get fucked up by top competition. And then he got that Volkov fight. And I think surprised and shocked a lot of people in the MMA community because...
Oh, yeah. He went decision on that fight.
And he didn't fight terribly. Mm-hmm. I mean, for a guy who hasn't trained nearly as long as most of these people who have trained their entire lives, he fought a pretty decent fight, especially up against a guy who is just so much technically better than 90% of everybody he fights and 90% of the other guys in division. Greg Hardy really impressed me in these last few fights. And, he's fighting very technical kickboxers. So I'm going to have to give him the edge here. I'm going first round KO for Greg Hardy. I think he finds a way to burst and land that legendary power that we all know he has. And I think he fucks up Maurice Greene.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, for me, Maurice Greene, he's kind of been back and forth in his career, but he was coming off that Gian Vellante fight, and I thought he looked great. Third round submission, and I don't know. I just, he's not winning against these big guys like Olenek, but I think with a guy like Greg Hardy, I think Maurice Greene, he's got the length, that's for sure. He's 6'7", he's huge, and if he just honed in a little bit, I think his striking will look good. So I'll go Maurice Greene.
Yeah, it's a great TKO. It really is a good matchup because Maurice Greene's a very technical kickboxer and Greg Hardy is just a marauder. I mean, they call him the Prince of War, apparently. Yeah. Probably not the best nickname. I'm sorry. Shouldn't be shitting on him. Fuck me up, throw me on a pile of guns. Bobby Green versus Thiago Moises. So Thiago Moises, who did he just say? He just submitted, who was it, Michael Johnson in the first round in his last fight? Mm-hmm. This is a dangerous fight for Bobby Green.
It is.
He's going up against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu savage.
But I like it.
I like it a lot. It's what Bobby Green needs to get to. If he wins this fight, this is the type of fight he needs to get himself a top 15 opponent.
Oh, for sure.
To break in there and get a number by his name, because Bobby Greene, he's not the oldest guy in the world, but he's just a grizzled vet and he's just an OG of the game. Everyone loves this guy and he's got a great message, a great story every time he gets on the mic. I'm becoming a big fan of Bobby Greene, and I already was before, but now I'm just loving him more and more. So I really think the way Bobby Greene has evolved in these last few fights, he looked so good on the ground in his last fight. You really shocked.
He looked incredible, not only against Alan Patrick, but also Lando Venata.
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, I mean, he really has had a resurgence in these last two fights. Like, coming off that Trinaldo loss, he looks awesome.
Yes.
Like, he really does. And he's dominating, too. He's winning 3 rounds. He's winning decisively. So,
yeah,
I think he looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm taking Bobby Greene, unanimous decision. Whether it goes to the ground, I don't know if he's going to be better than Moise, but I think he's just going to be just good enough to survive, maybe get back to the feet and start winning these exchanges. I'm giving Bobby Greene every advantage on the feet. If it goes down to the ground, I think he maybe finds a way to just stay safe. So I'm going Bobby Greene, unanimous decision.
Yep. I got the same pick here. I got Bobby Greene decision.
Already. Alexander Hernandez versus Chris. It's not even an international fighter. This is an American. You got a fucked up name. Guterres. Guttmacher. It sounds German. Something like that. I don't know. Alexander Hernandez versus Chris Guttmacher.
He's from Arizona.
He's from Arizona? Yeah. Well, I know he's American. I see the American flag, but it's like, fuck that last name, dude. Yeah. There's no way
I'll ever
learn that.
Groot or Grop, is probably German.
It's probably something super easy. I'm just overthinking it way too much.
Grutzmacher.
That's
what I'm thinking.
Grutzmacher.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds cool. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's getting finished. Alexander Hernandez, second round submission.
I love how we just focused on his name for so long, and then it was just quick and simple for you. Yeah, he's getting finished.
Guttmacher's going to fucking sleep. Alexander Hernandez, second round submission. Guttmacher is coming off of a win, I believe, but his first 2 UFC fights, he's only had 3 fights. His first 2 UFCs ended by submission. So I'm going to say maybe he's not the best on the ground. Maybe he likes to strike, keep it on the feet. Alexander Hernandez is pretty well-rounded, so if it goes down to the ground, I think he's going to sleep. Easy as that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit more of a war. I think these guys will fill each other out. I mean, Alexander Hernandez likes to push the pressure, but at the same time, I just see this going decision. So
decision. Interesting fight. Chris Guttmacher is a name to watch. Asterisk it.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Mason, we made it.
We did.
To the end of the show. Shout-outs. The shout-outs have been rough. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Every week. It's been rough. I'm trying to find a comment right now, so I'm doing a thing called stalling.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll shout out the people this week. Cash Kraus, Gideon Mars. Thank you guys for being on the Fight Companion, per usual.
Why the fuck couldn't have I thought of that?
Well, I went with the easy route. I was like, I don't have any shout outs, so I'm going to thank them for being on the podcast because that's the polite thing to do, right? to say thank you. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Absolutely. It's very cool. Very cool. I love doing those Fight Companions. That's an absolute blast. So guys, make sure you go and check that out. That will be coming very soon. My shout out is very easy. Nomura or whatever. I don't know. Must be an avatar name. It's not real. Do you guys have an estimate on when you'll start pronouncing Hazmat's name right? Or at least get the order of the M and Z right, please. It's never going to happen, bro.
It's Hamzat, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Hamzat Chimaev. Why do they keep saying I'm saying it wrong? Hamzat Chimaev.
Maybe because I'm saying Hamzat, and the Zat is pissing him off. I don't know. It seems like every other comment is about Hamzat's name. I like it, though, guys. Keep commenting, and you'll get shouted out in the show. So shout out Nomura. Yeah. Thank you for commenting. Make sure you go subscribe to the channel. I'm super excited. Mason. Another one in the books, my guy.
Sir.
Another one. So make sure everybody goes to our social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Church of MMA. We're posting funny memes. We're posting clips of the show. Hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe there. Hit that bell notification. We drop videos there every single day. Go check out our social media pages. This is The Church of MMA. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cragen.
Peace.